We're full of water.
And podcasts are full of hosts. 3 Jenga pieces reunited.
The tower is stacked.
Or just 3 next to each other. We make a good floating device.
We're a raft.
We're a solid raft. Yeah, you're not going to survive being stranded in the ocean with just 2 of us. You need all 3, and we're all back for your favorite show, Crucible Radio, show something, PvP, something, Bones. We missed you last week.
Oh, well, I missed you guys too. Actually, no, I had a fun time just sort of relaxing and not recording. Suckers.
Yeah, you were.
We didn't want you on anyway.
I could tell.
Feeling is mutual.
Really enjoying yourselves.
Oh, yeah. All I learned from this experiment is that I am the glue that holds this podcast together.
Wait, I thought I learned I was the glue that holds this thing together.
Swain, I thought you were like the spicy hot sauce.
Yeah, you're the spicy sriracha mayo.
That goes on the hot dog sandwich, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Can I tell you, I actually went to go find a hot dog, and I found a place that sells hot dog sandwiches. It's bread, and then they've got a hot dog cut in half with a slice of pickle cut in half in between. So it goes hot dog, pickle, hot dog side by side in sandwich form. It was disgusting. I would never order it.
Hey, is cereal a soup?
It's a cold soup. It's like a gazpacho.
Yeah.
It's a cold soup. That sounds gross.
I mean, it might be more of a pudding than a soup, right? You don't have sweet soups, do you?
Yeah, of course you do.
You have like a pumpkin soup or like a squash. It's a little sweet.
Yeah.
I think if I were sitting there eating a bowl of cereal and you looked at me and pointed at it and said, that's cold soup, I'd suddenly find it revolting.
Oh, yeah. You're ruining this thing. You're probably wondering what's going on here on Crucible Radio, the show for all things Destiny PvP. We're getting to it.
What if this is someone's first time listening? They have no idea who's talking. I'm Bones.
I'm not Birds.
Jesus Christ. We're doomed.
The other one is Swain, but you know who Swain is. How could you not know the Voop Pirate King of the space internet? And
the dread Vooper Roberts.
That's me.
Voop Beard Jackson.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite pirate.
I'm workshopping it right now. But hey, look, you tuned in to a good episode. We have got some stuff in store for you.
Yes, we are starting one of a 3-part series where we are going to be doing exotic armor report cards. Ooh. And this is something we actually did somewhere in the middle of year 2. And we did the whole shebang. We reviewed everything. We reviewed weapons, and we can probably get to that too. But there's been a few new ones added to the mix, and some we've been playing since almost the first month of this game. So today, we are going to be talking about Warlocks, which is my area of expertise. And then we'll be coming out with some episodes about Titans and Hunters.
Yep.
But before we get into that, today we are recording a little bit earlier in the week because we are going to Mr. Swain's wedding this coming weekend.
I can't wait.
Very excited. Going to Philly. First time I'll be in that city that's not just, transferring through airports. I'll actually go outside, which is nice.
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah, we're going to eat a bunch of really good food, and we're going to drink a bunch of really delicious booze, and we're going to enjoy ourselves, have a good time. I'm definitely not stressing out right now. Not at all.
Nope. You seem super calm, and it's like you just did all the work you needed to do weeks ago, and now you're just waiting for the wedding to happen. It's just taking care of itself at this point.
Definitely not doing all of it this week.
Yeah, no, that would be stressful and crazy. No one would do that.
Yes. But I'm excited. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to get this podcast recorded so you guys still have something this week. We didn't want to miss a week. We definitely have had a strange 3 weeks, and I don't think the best way to cap it off would just miss a week.
And the slow fade away.
The 2 by 2 by 2 by 0, just nothing.
I would like to be like the only person who shows up for this podcast one night and realize, I am not prepared.
I would do an episode by myself, easy.
I would listen
easy
to
peasy.
that episode.
You gotta have the riff. You gotta have the back and forth.
Well, what better timing to do an episode early than today, because a patch just came out. The major thing being the hard mode of the raid. Blah, 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 blah. Hard mode raid. Great.
PvE. Bleh.
Bleh. Bleh. But this also brought a lot of quality of life upgrades, little tweaks here and there, and we are very excited about a few of these things. So we did want to talk about it, and then we will jump into our exotic armor reviews. But first off, biggest thing to happen. Oh boy, horn relays from Sparrow Racing League are no longer used to upgrade rare quality horns. These items can be discarded. All players will receive 15 silver dust as compensation for this change of horn relays.
You know what I've been saying since last year when SRL came out? We need two things. We need to get rid of horn relays, and we need private matches. Thank God.
Yeah. I was a little annoyed when one came first, but hey, they finally got around to the big one.
Yeah, the important one, obviously.
We've also saw some mask-related changes. And
this actually has some implication. They made a kiosk. More kiosks, the better, Bungie. Make
Agreed.
1,000 kiosks. Because I was hoarding all of the masks in my vault. And that's like, what, 15 or so masks that you have? I think I have 2 of one for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, I can delete them all now.
Yes.
And I can just keep collecting all of my armor. That way I can have every possible way of hitting tier 12. That's the beauty of it. More room.
Maybe that's what they meant by more vault space coming.
Right. Less mask space coming. You'll also notice from some of their other live events that some of the detritus niche, some of the bits and pieces that didn't really do much, your candy, your paper scraps, your glue, all that has been removed, except you will notice the raisins remain. What are they for?
Raisins got Grimoire too.
Hold on to those raisins.
Raisin Grimoire.
Eris. Also, we can use those class-specific shaders across all of the classes now. And
I was a little upset about that. I was like, wait.
Oh, nah, all right. I want to put sulfur burnish on everything.
My electric Aquarius, I'm no longer a special snowflake.
Oh, now you'll know how I feel.
Yeah.
You guys ruined Kingspire. It was so special before. Now it's all everybody has.
The only thing everyone wore during the Owl Sector week.
Yep.
Kind of like the shader fads. Where did they go? We actually got a question from a listener asking us about our favorite shaders and emblems. Maybe we could do 2 parts. Mr. Oliver Watts asks, what are your guys' favorite shaders? What are you guys wearing?
Well, I use Knight Errant as of right now. That's what's on my Titan. Like, I love the way it looks. Gives that kind of like, it's not brown, it's more so like bronze, like a deep bronze. I use that, and I use the Stolen Chalice. That's from Eva Levante. She sells it every once in a while. She also sells Sparkle Pony. I haven't gotten that one yet, but love those 2. I like simple.
Well, I've had a few favorites that are pretty old in terms of Destiny at this point. I've had Bone Marrow on most of my characters for the past 8 months. I think that's hands down my favorite shader. Knight Errant, which I also got from Iron Banner, though, that looks good on all classes, and it is really tough to take that off. I have switched out Barrier Ethos a couple times. The new one with the red and the white and black, that one looks really good on a Hunter, really, really good on Titans. Not so much on Warlocks, but it's a good variant when it works with certain armor pieces. I have to say, though, one of my favorite shaders of all time is Million. And that was from the first Iron Banner. It took so long to grind to whatever you needed to do to get it. I forget. But I wore that all the time. It's always looked really, really dope on Warlocks. And that was back when I only had 1 Guardian and I wasn't playing 3 a week. So I will always have a place in my heart for Million.
Pretty much guaranteed, if you see me in the Crucible, I'm probably wearing the Old Guard or Thunder Devil. They just look good with everything. They're sort of nice camo for most maps. But I've got a couple that rotate through, and it's sort of, especially with Hunters, it's so dependent on what armor you're wearing. But I quite like Val's Guard. I wore Vina Cava for the first part of Rise of Iron.
Oh, very good.
Chatterwhite is back. I probably wouldn't wear it in PvP, but it's looking real good with my little orange flare cape right now. And I also like Chalcedony because fuck you, look at me with my green and my orange and my white all mushed up next to each other. Anyways,
emblems. I keep one on every character, and it's the Sign of Containment.
Hell yeah!
That's from Movie of the Week. That one, and if I want to mix it up, I use the new Wolf Pack, which was from Iron Banner, one of the rare shaders.
I also have my Movie of the Week emblem because you gotta rock it if you got it. It's cool. I'm happy to have it. I have that on my Warlock. Otherwise, I'll rotate them out fairly often. I normally get sort of stir crazy with my emblems. Like I'm desperate for new ones, even though there's 60 of them in there I could choose from. I do really like Illusion of Light, which is an old one. It's actually it's black with stars on it, which is a really nice effect, and it's got that orange triangle with a rocket ship in the middle of it. It's got that sort of Mars effect.
Fun one.
That is just a good classic that normally hangs on to my Guardians, even if I'm dismantling a bunch of other ones. But yeah, that one, that's a tried and true.
I only got this one recently, but I really like Symbol of the Magister. That one I've got, I think, on all my subclasses right now. And Abaturno, it's simple, but it's you kind of see the orbits. It's a cool image. Those are probably my two common ones. All right, Oliver, I hope that answered your question. But we got more update to talk about. Some PvP stuff. Got new game mode in the privates.
Yes!
All up in your privates.
Oh my God, I'm so happy about this. Like this felt like it came out of nowhere for me, and I read it this morning and just started tweaking. But Inferno Elimination is now available in private matches. That is all I want to play.
Let's go. Inferno Elimination, I think we played that a few times just as it kind of like rotated through, and it was just so much fun. It was a shame in that moment that you couldn't just play that as the playlist. But
yeah, I just think it's fast, exciting, and it requires strategy, and your flanks are not called out the second they notice you from 30 meters out on your radar. It can be so satisfying to just walk up to two people and shoot them in the back. It is a great feeling, and I think it helps build your instincts, especially in the elimination format. You can't just sort of roam the map and try to stay alive. You have to protect bodies and watch your corners and stuff. Really, really fun, and I think it does. It prepares you for other more mainstream game modes.
Well, cool. I have not played that one, so now I got the option.
What else did they do?
Oh, this fixed to the subclasses in orbit when you're switching. If you change to Stormcaller from Voidwalker, your melee and grenades were gone. So mean. I'm so happy to see that fixed. It's another one that's just sort of you got used to, and I wasn't looking forward.
You kind of always saw it as a punishment for switching. It was just like,
yeah,
all right, well, I have to switch.
Shouldn't have done that.
Like it wasn't working, but I know I won't have melee or grenade.
Yeah, and then a few fixes to bounties and people trying to get under the stairs at the Drifter map. And another interesting one, the Lighthouse on Mercury is now a social space, up to 9 players. I thought that was interesting.
It is a very interesting thing.
How long do you think before we see like a Husky Raid dance number set in the lighthouse? Like
pretty quickly.
The true secret of the lighthouse?
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
By the time we're back from Philly?
I'm more interested in the possibility of other things, like secrets.
Secrets.
You
need to stack 9 Guardians tall to reach the secret area. It is now available.
They did it with the raid.
That's true.
It's going to be almost jarring to see other people there when you get there. I sort of spend a lot of time in the lighthouse after a run, sort of just talking with the teammates and just, walking around and maybe looking at my inventory and stuff. I'm going to feel like someone's watching me if I'm doing that whole process, or like I won't want to hang out there for too long. It'll be interesting.
Finally, last big change is we got more light, and I'm happy to see that they've made this official, because you hear about some people getting 385 plus drops, just sort of well above the curve. We're now clear up to 400 A lot of different changes to the game modes. I'm excited to see Archon's Forge is dropping ghosts and artifacts up to 400 light. Trials, Banner, Crucible also have 400 light. And that you can get ghosts or increased chance of ghosts from your reputation packages. Ghosts and artifacts are just the thing that always ends up holding you back on that light level. So good to see we got more options.
I really enjoy just kind of sitting in the Archon's Forge and hanging out with friends. So I like this. I like that you can reach 400 just doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not a bad look on those ghosts. They have cool like chrome pieces. They actually, I kind of like them a lot.
I especially like Archon's Forge because it gives me sweet stuff.
Oops.
Gave me a sweet sniper rifle this week.
Yeah, I have yet to see any of the weapons, so I guess I'll just keep grinding it out and get to 400 light on accident.
Bones is doing something wrong. You gotta like dance or something when you get in there, or I don't know.
I dance constantly.
Is it working?
No.
Maybe don't dance? I don't know.
Otherwise, very good good little patch here. There's more stuff that we're not mentioning, mostly because it doesn't pertain to Crucible. We are just always happy to see a little quality of life fixes. You know, your game's going to crash less. You're going to get stuff easier. New light, always good. But we should probably dig into, you know, the meat of this episode, right?
Yeah. But why don't we take a break here and have a little word from our sponsor this week?
Oh, yes. Our sponsor this week is HelloFresh. HelloFresh is simple. They want to change the way people eat forever. In a good way, too. You know, people don't cook anymore. I love to cook. Me and the missus, we got a rule. We trade off every other night. It's the other person's responsibility to cook. So you got to have some recipes. You got to have some chops, and you got to have good ingredients. You know, we want to eat healthy. We want to eat food that gives us good energy and nutrition, but also we like to eat, so it's got to taste good. And HelloFresh is here to make it so easy to do.
When you say so easy, you're not lying, because this thing is the easiest thing ever. I personally hate the grocery store so much. I don't like people. I don't like trying to force myself to buy good, clean food and stuff like that. I don't know what an avocado is supposed to feel like when it's ripe. So HelloFresh delivers all of that to your door. So if you are busy at night, if you don't get a lot of time to cook, or you don't like going shopping, this is the thing for you. It is ready to go. It's all in order. It's perfectly understandable. And you just get right to the cooking part, which ends up being plenty of fun.
I mean, every week they got new recipes. They give you, like you say, all the ingredients in a box. They're fresh. They're measured out to the right proportions. I gotta say, the recipes are really good too. Like, I hate following recipes normally, but they're one page. They're laid out nicely. They have pictures. I don't feel like I'm trying to say, where did I leave off? And start to finish, it took me 30 minutes. I just finished dinner earlier. We had Jamie's chicken skewers that were served with like a bulgur wheat salad, chicken that was tossed in lemon and oregano and just like really savory with a lemon yogurt and toasted walnuts on the side. It was so good, and I was done within half an hour. It was amazing.
Not to mention, like we've said, this is fresh ingredients. This is healthy ingredients. And as someone who is not good at shopping for themselves because I just want to buy junk food, this is so awesome because it helps me understand what an actual healthy, balanced meal looks and feels like. And I end up enjoying it more because of that.
Everything you need delivered to your doorstep in a special insulated box. It's amazing. I can't wait to try pork tenderloin and roasted poblano beef. It's going to be a good week. I'm going to eat well leading up to your wedding, Swain. And then I'm going to eat well at your wedding.
And guess what? Special offer to listeners of our show. If you want $35 off your first week of deliveries, visit HelloFresh.com and enter Crucible when you subscribe. Crucible. I'm telling you, it's delicious and it's awesome and it's healthy.
Gotta try it. HelloFresh.com, enter code Crucible. All right. Back to it, guys. What do we got next?
All right. Exotic armor report card. One of three. We're going to talk about Warlocks today.
All F.
No, Swain. You're wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. Too soon.
Too soon. I have been playing mostly Warlock since about 3 weeks before Rise of Iron dropped. I've always considered it my main character. In fact, my Warlock is the one I have never dismantled and started over again. I've gone through, I think, 4 Titans and 3 Hunters.
Burning through the Titans.
3 of each, I don't know. But and I play him plenty, but the Warlock is my home, so to speak. And I've been mixing it around. I've been playing mostly Voidwalker, but I do love Storm. Unfortunately, Sunsinger is sort of sitting in a spot where it doesn't necessarily feel bad to play. I just feel better using the other ones. So a lot of these exotics will revolve around mostly Voidwalker, as it is a really strong class right now, specifically in Trials, which is what I've been playing the most. But this will talk about all game modes. The other thing we're going to do with this is, last year we could talk about them all, but we've gotten to the point where the list of exotics are pretty long. So we could either spend 30 seconds on everything just to tell you don't use Starfire Protocol in the Crucible, or we can focus on ones that you might see, you might face, you might need to learn to counter, or you might want to try out yourself. So we've got a list of 7 here that we are going to go over.
7. Woo!
These are the 7. Well, hold on. You're telling me that Heart of Praxic Fire and Alchemist Raiment did not make it onto the list?
Look, if you really need Glimmer, then first of all, I don't know what you're doing. What are you buying?
That Glimmer. I bought all the Sparkle Ponies. Bought them all up.
Just multiple
Cleared out her
copies.
stock. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, first up, an oldie, a goodie. I believe this is the favorite of Mr. Deej _Bungie himself. This, of course, would be the Voidfang Vestments.
Throw a grenade, die, repeat, something like that. Yeah, the Voidfangs were my main exotic for a very, very, very long time in year 1. So it's so interesting talking about them now. I actually found a screenshot on my PlayStation of one of my first, if not my first, Vault of Glass clearing. And I was sitting at the far end on Atheon's throne area, and I had my raid gear on, but my Vanguard helmet, because I was at 29, hadn't got the helmet to drop. And I had Voidfang vestments on in a raid, which I thought was hilarious. But these things are still pretty handy, considering that Axion bolts are one of the best grenades to be using right now.
They've got tracking. Of course, this one's going to give you an extra Axion bolt seeker. And of course, if you spawn in, maybe you die and mash that square, or someone revives you, you are coming in with full grenade energy, which, if you're planning on dying a lot, and I'm not saying you should, I'm saying I do sometimes, so it is game mode dependent. That can be huge to be able to throw a grenade right off a spawn, even if you've got, high discipline level. That is a ton of special ability to be able to throw at the other team.
It used to be really good when firebolts were super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have them immediately and you are destroying people. So I don't know. It's changed a little bit with the change in subclasses.
I think we've seen enough other exotics come out that this is one that really makes the most sense on Voidwalker when you're using that Axion bolt. But there's been a lot of better options. We're in the golden era of Warlock exotics right now. So what do you think, Bonesy? Where would you put this one?
I do like that 3 bolt system. I love getting them back. If you're a Trials team that plays heavily on revives rather than aggressive pushes, maybe you want that. It can be great to break up a setup on a Trials team that's being a little slow, passive. But this is the exotic you're wearing if you haven't got one of the other new ones to drop. So we're going to give this one a B. Pretty middle of the road.
It's a solid B.
Next up is another one that's been seeing a lot of action. Definitely got a lot of playtime for me in the months leading up to Rise of Iron. This is the Claws of Ahamkara. Now, this offers, plain and simple, 2 melee charges. And again, this is another one that can transcend classes. I actually used it a lot on Sunsingers at the beginning. It works fine on Voidwalkers, but Claws are actually real crispy on Stormcallers with Amplitude for that extra melee range. Oh, you wouldn't be surprised.
I always had trouble, and maybe this was just the play style I was using at the time. I always had trouble really getting rid of my melee charges fast enough on non-Stormcaller Thunderstrike with extended range, just because I don't necessarily want to be up in everyone's face with, just a focus burst and a shotgun behind me. But there's no denying on Stormcaller, this is a fantastic choice. I mean, this dominated the Warlock meta for, a good chunk of year too.
Yes, and the nice thing about re-rolling exotics now is you can have it match whatever primary reload you want, or special if you really want that. But it was nice to just get the hand cannon reload without having to wait for another drop. Such a good change. But so the other problem with the claws here is that sometimes you might lose both melee charges on a single proc. That is unfortunate. That is probably a bug. And that does take a few points off of the claws. So if we're talking claws working as intended, I give them like an A-, but they do have an asterisk on them that's just because of that problem. So it's not to say don't touch them, they're broken, but you just got to be aware that you might lose a melee. It happens. It doesn't always affect my game, or even I may not even notice, but be aware that it could occur.
They're playstyle specific for sure.
Yes.
All right. Up next is one we spent a good while arguing about before the show started. Nothing Manacles.
Yes.
They got a good name.
In the debate room.
I'll give you that.
All I know is that they destroy me all the time. Like, why? How is that scatter grenade so strong? Just like killed me outright. Whatever. Stupid Nothing Manacles. So
when Nothing Manacles sort of rose to power, they often were referred to as mini Nova Bombs, because you could throw your scatter, which is just a non-used grenade prior to that, and you realize that it's actually a lot of damage output if you do hit the target. So the thing about using these Nothing Manacles to get 2 grenade charges and tracking on your scatter grenades, which can be very effective, is you have to be hyper accurate with your grenades, as opposed to a lot of the Warlock grenades, especially the more common ones where you just sort of put it next to them. It will not work as effectively if you're used to aiming firebolts or if you're used to aiming the Axion bolts.
I've had a couple people swear that they've got their build with Nothing Manacles. Usually they're using Bloom, and you try and, especially in 6s, you'll throw your scatter grenade in and try and get the chain reaction going. Also, Embrace the Void can be good if your aim isn't spot on, but I think these ones suffer just because scatter grenades just fall a little short compared to Axions. Axions are so effective right now. And in addition to having to aim the scatter grenade, it is pretty well contained. Even with the tracking, you're not going to be sprinting away from one of these like you would with a Blade Dancer skip grenade.
I would treat it like you would treat someone who uses like stickies really well. If that person gets really good with it, they are super dangerous. Like if you know someone that has really good at flux or fusion grenades, you are definitely scared because it'll outright kill you. Same thing goes with these. If you can get really good at them, you're a force to be reckoned with.
So we've got a exotic that makes a grenade the best possible version of that grenade, but that choice is a little bit niche. Bones, where do you stick these guys?
Well, we sort of
where did I force you to stick these guys?
We are going to give Nothing Manacles a B-. Fun for those highlight plays where you get Bloom to proc on 3 people like a mini Nova Bomb, but at the top levels you're not going to want the Nothing Manacles if you have a few of these other options, and we are going to get to that next option now, which is the best exotic I've ever worn, and not because they are OP, not because they make me jump through the air like a Twilight Garrison or jump 3 times like Bones of Ale, but because they are just the most comfortable things. I'll tell you why. Ophidian Aspect.
Oh, yes.
I tried real hard to get these.
Everyone wants them. We're converting people to Voidwalkers left and right. Honestly, you can wear them on all 3 classes. That is the best part about a good exotic, is it is a comfortable thing. In my opinion, it is a comfortable thing that feels good on all subclasses, It doesn't give you another tool. It doesn't just add something onto your game, but it makes your fundamentals a little cleaner, a little faster. And that's what Ophidian Aspect does. So the number one thing to look at on the exotic perk is that it does improve energy drain, which is my favorite build on Voidwalkers right now. Energy drain can, when you're speccing it all together, give you a grenade in about 5 seconds if your discipline is at tier 5. It can generate your health back on a grenade kill or a Nova Bomb kill, so you can push in aggressively with your Nova, even take a bunch of shots and get your health right back. The other thing the Ophidian Aspect offers is Quick Draw. It just says your weapons reload and ready, but it is just like the Blade Dancer perk. It also matches the speed of all primary reloading arms, which is just like the most convenient thing in the world. I don't have to switch arms if I'm going hand cannon, pulse rifle, scout rifle, whatever. It just works on everything. And my special weapon and my heavy weapon. I mean, that is just, that just makes me happy.
That's silly.
The jealousy is real.
Then, of course, to round it out, you have a choice between the two things you normally have to choose between. You don't have to choose. You've got melee attack speed and you've got grenade throw. These are like the Swiss Army knife of exotics.
They really are. They really are. They have a little bit of everything, but I honestly don't think that any of those things make Warlocks so crazy. You know, I don't think that they are so overpowered. And of course, this might be just my bias. I know someone is going to be like, in my opinion, this is ridiculous. And as a hunter, I completely disagree. That's fine. But Ophidian Aspect, without a doubt, reach an S tier on this report card. They get an S, and they are the ones you should be looking for
super.
And Zer just sold those arm engrams, so I hope you grabbed them up.
I honestly, I happen to have a pair, and so I like them for that. But as a hunter primarily, I feel like I've had an unfair advantage with the Bones of Yao. Titans have had like 2 absolute S tier choices right now. I always kind of felt bad for the Warlocks to have a bunch of really good options, but nothing that was just the clear choice of always useful, every build, every play style. And now you got one.
I appreciate you saying that, because I do feel like that was the case. I've always felt good on a Warlock, and I felt the best on it that I've been in a while, even before Ophidian Aspect came out. It was just a really nice reward, I feel like, for my favorite class and my favorite subclass. And yeah, definitely feel free to use these on all 3 subclasses. The extra energy drain is nice. You don't have to use the hunger. You can get your little bit more agility with a tracking Nova Bomb if you want. That's also cool. But I would wear these on my Stormcaller build any day.
So this, and I know you did some research on this, Ophidian Aspect gives you a boost to your energy drain effect. I know it's the hunger is one of your ability modifiers that also will boost up energy drain. Do you know, does this stack?
It does not. So you actually get a free hunger perk while wearing the Ophidian Aspect, which is really nice. So that's going to bring your grenades back really quickly. It's going to bring your health back if you're speccing for all of those perks that offer increased energy drain effects, charging your Nova Bomb faster, or maybe you just want to go with the melee that gets your health back. Also a really good choice. That's really nice, because on your Voidwalker, you could then either use Annihilate or Angry Magic. I run Angry Magic for the little boost to speed, so my Nova Bomb tracks enemies, which is great, because sometimes I'm not the most accurate in a close quarters, but Annihilate also good. Increase the size of explosion created by Nova Bomb and Vortex grenades. Not bad for your super effect. Either one, good choice. And if you really want to see that in action, if you want to see your health bar recovering, if you want to see exactly how energy drain works visually, Fallout has a great video on the Ophidian Aspects. Highly suggest going to check that out. Puts it up in a beautiful display so you can see what we're talking about. All in all, Ophidian Aspect, S tier, get them. Okay, moving on. Another oldie. This is one I actually have said that I just don't like. I will admit here that it is good, but I don't like the RAM. I'm not sure why. Maybe I didn't get it as fast as someone else. Maybe it was back when it offered so much armor. Armor is just annoying. Whatever. Sometimes you just have a little vendetta against something, and I've worn the Ram plenty. I just don't like it. I'm happy to have a different option, but the Ram, which offers 3 points armor and health back on any Voidwalker melee, is still a very, very, very good exotic, especially for those warriors who love getting in people's face, or you know what? It helps you just get out of some tricky situations. There's so many times I've shot a Warlock wearing the Ram where they just have that slither of health, and I'm just like, oh, get back here, and they escape with just a little bit. That is still a very effective tool, and honestly, you know, it impacted sweaty rules a lot over the past 2 years. So there's good reason, because the Ram is a solid exotic.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Like, the Ram is an exotic with some history. I remember when we first were talking about seeing the little teaser for it, that it looks so cool. And when I finally got mine, I put it on, like, oh, this is so cool. I don't know why when I see other people wearing it, it makes me so upset. It's just like, you take that off. You take that. You're not the Ram man. Yeah. I am. But as you point out, this was, I believe, the piece of exotic armor that led to the exotic ban in the conventional sweaty rule set. Because that much armor kind of messes things up, messes up the balance.
Yeah, and back then it was ridiculous.
I remember getting sniper rifle headshots when someone would self-res and you couldn't put them down. They had so much armor.
Oh yeah, those old self-resers.
Oh, yeah, to the point where you had to be like, oh, he's wearing Ram. You can't snipe him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sign when, like, one of the signature exotic elements of this, that all melees trigger lifesteal, was completely ignored. Like, this was one of the best choices on Sunsinger for a while. That an exotic so simply does that one thing, just gives you more armor. Might not be the fan favorite for most beloved exotic, but yeah, can't deny it is a great choice still.
Yeah, and you mentioned that it does award lifesteal, like we said, health back on every melee. So feel free to equip either Surge or Soul Rip. I highly recommend Soul Rip, which will just charge your Nova Bomb if you're damaging them with Energy Drain. Get more Nova Bombs a game, always a good thing. We give the Ram an A+. Doesn't reach up to the beauty of Ophidian Aspect, but boy, is it one of the best choices you can make for your Warlock these days.
All right, what do we got next? Here's one I am going to confess I know very little about. I don't think I've ever equipped these. I don't even know if I have these. These, of course, would be the transversive steps, which I always mix up with a different exotic. So I'm not going to talk about these. Tell me about this one.
Okay, so the transversive steps are the first Warlock exotic legs that we've ever gotten. And I was very happy to have that. And honestly, this is an exotic that I do want on my character at all times. I won't necessarily wear it forever, but the transversive steps were actually on my Warlock the first Wrath of the Machine clear I ever had. They are wonders in PvE, where picking up ammo is something you're doing constantly. I really, really, really recommend having them. So what these do, transversive steps, they gain faster movement speed while crouching, and picking up ammo automatically reloads the weapon, matching that ammo's type. So if your shotgun is empty and you know you got that party crasher that takes an hour to reload with rifled barrel and everything, walk over a special ammo and your magazine is full. That is a wonderful little conveniency that I really appreciated when I first got these. I had a lot of fun, and actually when I switched to Ophidian Aspect, I got annoyed when I had to reload quick. Even though I was reloading faster with everything, I was still like, oh man, that was really nice, and I kind of missed that. So let's talk about PvP. Are they the best for PvP? Not really. Can you wear them if you're playing some casual Clash? Go for it. I think that'd be totally fine. The nice thing about them is that they will offer special ammo. You don't have to worry about shotgun or sniper or fusion or sidearm. Just fits. It's always nice when you don't have to switch up your loadout like crazy. But this engagement thing where you move faster while crouching, I went and tested this. And what happens is if you are aiming down sights, standing up, you will move left to right in a certain speed. If you move left or right and then crouch while aiming down sights, you will move slower. With the transversive steps on, that speed will not decrease. You will move at a certain speed while ADSing, crouch, and continue to move at that speed. That is a pretty minor thing when it does come down to your 1v1s. It might save you once in a while, but honestly, if you're trying to stay alive in a 1v1, you might try sliding under cover sooner than just crouch walking side to side. And plus, if you're crouching, you should just be going up and down and trying to make those crits harder to use. So I do like this exotic. It's so nice having some exotic legs for the Warlock, and I will always have them on my character. But for PvP, C+. That's about it. Nothing special. And that the ammo thing is cool when you're at the box waiting for your shotgun ammo, but really it just, cuts down maybe 10 seconds at the most out of your time before your next engagement, which is not the most drastic thing in the world.
I will say they look very good.
Yes, they do. They look great.
And they have also given us the term power waddle. So there's that.
Yeah. Wear these in the tower and crouch in third person and just walk around and sneak up on people and you look weird, but it's very funny.
These next ones also look really good.
Yeah, definitely looks good.
That might be it.
Yeah, last but least, we don't have anything to tell you more about how you can be better at the Crucible with Warlock exotics, but I did want to make sure we talked about every single new one from Rise of Iron. And so the last one here is Astrocyte Verse. Now, this one showed up in data mining from way back when, and everyone's going, what's with the content drip? Give me that helmet. And by gosh, if it's not the best looking thing on a Warlock I've ever seen.
It's beautiful.
It's just gorgeous. Your face is a galaxy. There's little thunderbolts in it. It covers your whole head. It's disturbingly cool. I'm looking at it right now. I'm getting distracted. But so this exotic perk is not what was data mined from over a year ago now. It has changed, and I think we can all guess why. But the perk here is Move to Survive, temporary increase to recovery on Blink. So, went into private match, a gorgeous thing that we can do. Grabbed my buddy Dan and I said, hey, I want to test these out. And I said, shoot me, get me down to red. I'm going to blink and see how fast I recover. Turns out the exotic perk does not last long enough to even speed up your recovery. It's a confusing thing. I tried it with the lowest recovery on my Warlock as possible. I tried it with the highest recovery that you can also spec with Blink. And the amount of time, so what happens is you get 2 blinks before it has a cooldown, right? So he would shoot me. I'd get health. I'd blink as soon as I'm in red. I would escape from him. I'd run away. I'd blink again. The perk name would disappear. And then my health is coming back. It's okay, so maybe that cut off a second. I can't even tell because in a real scenario, that engagement is so, if I actually get that far away, I'm fine to just sort of hide and heal up. It's not saving my life. And if I'm in a scenario where there's going to be another enemy around the corner, they have all the opportunity to finish me off for the next 5-7 seconds. So I didn't know what to think about this, and I was a little confused. It just didn't feel like it was at all worth it to use, including the fact that Blink now lowers your recovery quite a bit. Is by no means the powerhouse it once was. I know people that like it. I've faced players in trials using Blink still, but I don't think this is going to be the exotic they go with.
Let me say one nice thing about the Astrocyte Verse. Your perk choice on it is at least a PvP appropriate one. You've got Innervation, Invigoration, Better Already, and Infusion. At least there's no Minions of Darkness to have to worry about there. But in terms of an exotic, Bonesy,
F. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
for fun.
It's
It's
for fun.
Not for fun.
It's for fashion. F for fashion.
There you go.
For fancy fun fashion. but not for P.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh man, I wish they would put that other perk that never really existed. Bring it back.
Good for PvP.
But I hope they change this at some point. Just take a look at it. There's just too much good stuff to use.
F.
So yeah, that's it. Those are the ones you should keep an eye out. I think it's totally fair if you have all of those on your character. I know it's tough to actually maintain all your reload and your ammo perks. But there are a lot of good options. It fits different play styles. You got grenades if you're a little more passive, or if you love Rumble, go with Void Fang Vestments. If you love getting in people's face, get the Claws of Ahamkara. If you just want a more comfortable, faster experience with a little bit of quality of life, go Ophidian Aspect. If you're trying to get clips to upload on Reddit of you killing 4 people with a single grenade, go Nothing Manacles. If you want to make me mad, go the Ram. And if you want to just look really cool, go Transversive Steps and Astrocyte Verse.
That completes part 1 of 3 of our exotic reviews. Swain, I don't think we've quite figured out who's going next week. If it's going to be Hunter or Titan, but they're both coming. We're going to give you words made up of letters and also letters on their own.
I'm excited to hear what you guys think, because the Frosties got a little tweak. They had a problem with them, but now they're working as intended, I assume. I haven't got those yet. They look really good. Those crazy Thagomizers on the Titan, definitely interesting.
I'm going to have to actually try them, because I've used 2 exotics since they came out. The listeners can guess which 2. Here we go.
Yeah. It's a good time for Hunter exotics right now. We got a bunch of decent choices, but we got to wait. I'm not going to tell you about Frosties yet.
Yep.
Except they are the frostiest. All right. Well, how about let's go to Philly and let's all get married to Swain.
Yay.
Okay, deal.
Doing it. I actually heard Philly just legalized everyone marrying Swain, because
it's a special law.
Yep.
It took a while. We got just in time.
Welcome to next week's episode of Crucible Radio. I'm Bones Swain with my co-hosts Bird Swain and Swain.
And Swain.
Or would I just be Bone Stash and you'd be Bird Stash?
I cannot grow a bird stash.
Birds don't grow facial hair.
Yeah, it's all feathers. Just a mess. All right, guys. Wrap this thing up.
Yep.
That's a fun one. Let's go get on a plane.
Sounds good.
This is it.
Make sure you check out crucibleradio.com. We love you guys. Wish you could be at the wedding. Bye.
You'll all be there in our hearts.
And we'll see you this weekend.
Get ready for some Twitter pictures, or go look at the Twitter pictures I posted this weekend, since this comes out afterwards. I'm probably hungover at the moment you're listening to this.
Very.
Yeah, I'm gonna need approval on the Twitter pictures, because I'm gonna mash out this weekend. So just wait.
Everything goes through birds.
Don't want documented.
All right. Fine.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
See ya. This week from Limit. Check them out. It's limithc.bandcamp.com. Dig these guys. And if you're a musician, send me some music to listen to. I love hearing it. It's crucibleradio@gmail.com.